See, for somebody that's not particularly tech savvy, got to be honest, that is pretty damn cool, isn't it? Let's be honest. Anyway, welcome to this very special edition of whatever the show is, because all it's about is Cornell Thomas. And we love Cornell Thomas. But today I've got the incredible Bridget Cisco coming. So here they come flying on the screen. Boof!
Hello. Hi.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing really, really well. And it's 2 weeks from today that we get to hug again.
Oh my God. This is going to be a bit of a love fest, people. There's absolutely no guilt, no shame. We're not apologizing because it's all about positivity, right?
Mm-hmm. It really is. And you're a good person. We get to have great conversations. All is good.
So check out visibilityonpurpose.com. That's Bridget's website. A little bit of promos get going. But let's first of all share a little bit about why we're coming together. And then we'll have a little bit of a riff. Bridget, let people know why we're coming together again. So I'm just going to share my screen. And I just want to share the awesome human who brought you and I together at the Positivity Summit in New Jersey last July. Mr. Sir, the big dog, Cornell Thomas. So tell us a little bit about how you got to know Cornell, and then we can share a bit about how we experienced the Positivity Summit.
Oh, fun. So I'm from New Jersey, and Cornell is also from New Jersey. So 2020, I had a podcast called The Gathering Movement, where I wanted to gather the coolest humans on my show and talk about things like spirituality, human optimization, just being a cool human and bringing the humans together. And my friend Gabby was like, you need to interview Cornell. And Cornell and I got on the show together, and, you know, he's keeping it real. That's like Cornell at the core. He keeps it real. You know, I think he was cursing, and I was like, oh, this is great. Like, this is perfect. And the rest is history now. This is the third Positivity Summit I've done with him, and he's become a great friend to me, as have you, and just really looking forward to it together again.
Oh, what a cool story. I love it. So I met Cornell because, do you know Claude Silver, Bridget?
No.
So Claude is the Chief Heart Officer. What a great title at Garry Vaynerchuk's VaynerMedia.
Wow.
And basically Cornell knows Claude really, really well. And we basically got connected via Claude. Like, he and I had our first ever conversation, gotta be 3 years plus years ago. And we both had tears. During that conversation. There was just this depth of connection in just the first conversation across the screen. And it's just like, what the hell's happening? Couldn't believe it. So yeah, just incredible human. And again, what we're just showing you here, there's a very snazzy website, Event Zilla. If you go to Cornell Thomas, I'm just going to type that in, cornellthomas.com. You'll find his website. Let me just actually flip this out. If you're watching us live or watching this back, do go and get yourself a ticket, because there's a maximum of 80 people. I know there's a good 30 or 40 people already signed up. Here's his website, cornellthomas.com. So just to walk you through, if you go down, you'll see at the bottom, there's tickets. Yeah, click on tickets. It'll take you straight through and buy a ticket. And literally, if you want to get a discount code via Bridget or I, we can get you a little bit of money off. But let's be really clear. Like, it deserves to be paid the full price, because it's going to be incredible, Bridget.
Yeah.
Right?
There's nothing better than being together in person. I know that you and I talked about this when I interviewed you maybe last week, like human connection, physical proximity, great conversations, being human, Positivity Summit. This theme is pivoting. There's nothing better than that. Are you still there, Garry? Maybe it's just me now. Hello, everyone. We are just really excited about it. There you are, Garry.
Live TV. Literally, I've got a screen. If you can see the screens over here, there's literally just like screens going, but it's going pink, it's going black, it's exploding. I think it's a very good metaphor for the experience we're all going to have in 2 weeks' time. And I think, you know, I don't know about you, Bridget, but I think there's something about as well this, you said about coming together, convening. There's something about slowing down and actually allowing ourselves to catch a breath, right? Because when I work, as you know, I work in the chemicals industry. I've still got a full-time job. And there's events where you pay hundreds of dollars to be in the crowd, and you are one of the broken ones waiting for someone to give you some magic dust that might actually help you put yourself back together again, right?
Mhm.
That's a lot of events.
Mhm.
And we've got things like the Positivity Summit, which is a really accessible price, and a bunch of really open-minded, like-hearted is the phrase I like to use, humans who are just there to learn and share and just try and just pick up tips, right, how to try and live a more fulfilling life. Like, the contrast between those two events for me is so stark. And I wonder if that resonates with you or not.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is what I talked about at the last Positivity Summit. You know, I'm very spiritual, and as someone who studied Kundalini yoga, there's this idea of the age of Aquarius and the age of Pisces. And these are just different times throughout history. And the Piscean age was all about hierarchy. It was all about, you know, me down here and leaders above me. And I needed to listen to the leader to tell me how to live my life. And as you can see with that concept, that is being shattered. And I think the Positivity Summit is literally ushering in a new way of being, doing, experiencing, living, leading our lives. Because yes, we are speaking, but you're going to see, I'm going to be right there with everyone. Like, we are all here to benefit and come together for a shared reason, not to say I'm better than you because I get to speak.
So good. It's so good. And I think, you know, the way you embody that, I remember seeing you speak in New Jersey last year, and it was so heartwarming to literally see, you know, as people came into the space, right, everyone was being introduced for who they were. You know, there was no awkwardness. There was no one left sitting in the corner. If they come on their own, if they come as a team of 4, if they came with the whole family, there was just this real intentionality to say, hey, welcome. Like, this is your space for today. Yeah. And like that, some people might think, it's all a bit clicky. That all sounds a bit woo. Like, no. It's our innate state before we got conditioned to be separate, right?
Ooh, yes. And I know, you know, sometimes for people, this idea of going to an event, especially going alone, it can be a little nerve-wracking. Like, I get it. You're like, well, what if I'm awkwardly sitting there in a corner? And one of the things I love, like, Cornell will just take you out of your seat anyway and be like, yo, let's go. But we also have some of these activities that we do throughout the summit. So what I love most, the speakers are great. Yeah, whatever. What I love most is the interactive, like, activities and games, because that's how you really get to know each other. Right there.
So, and he does do it well, doesn't he? He does do a game where, like, like, I think you've got good energy. I think I've got pretty decent energy. Like, Cornell's like times 116. He's on a different universe, this guy.
Well, sometimes we need that, though. Like, part of what you said before, Garry, was having the ability to slow down. And part of that is getting out of our normal routine. You know, maybe traditionally on a Friday, you're going to be ending your work week or doing something else during that time. So you are committing to 9 to 3 p.m. of spending time in a group of different people. And it's going to get you out of your comfort zone. You're going to be changing up your pattern. And we all know that if we want to make change in our own lives, that's the only way to do it. You can't think yourself out of change. You need to do it.
Well, sorry, hang on. Can we just get that little mic drop moment? You can't think your way out of change. You've got to do it. Like, so this is interesting, right? You say you do Kundalini yoga, like, you're very spiritual. Like, there could be people watching us right now going, no, but hang on. What do you mean I've got to do something? I thought the whole point of meditation and being is that I don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd love you just in the moment, just give a bit of a riff on that, because that's probably quite a challenge, maybe, on occasion.
Well, true change begins in the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is not able. We can think that something's going to change, but there's 2 ways that we look at this. I meditate and I feel my life looking different than the very now moment. And then I go out in my life and I put myself in the situations and I lay the groundwork for that to come into my life. So I'm very spiritual and also, like, practical. And we get to bridge the gap of that because, yes, I'm a visionary, a dreamer, a meditator, and I do believe that change is at the basic subconscious level. And then we're humans. So you can't just sit here and be like, okay, meditated, we're done. There's action. There's movement.
Oh, oh my God. Like, I'm just looking at, okay, we've just got going, right? We're 10 minutes in. Hey, everyone, join us for the next 14 hours. We're going to be here. I think that's so powerful because for me, there's this beautiful interplay. And I think, you know, the topic of this event that Cornell's setting up is pivoting, right? And I can imagine for many people, and I can speak for myself as Garry in that I form, it's quite a pivot for some to be willing to dance between being and doing. Like, because that conditioning, right? That conditioning of like, you have to do this or you have to do that. A lot of people go down on the binary, right? Because of society, because of what they've been taught, education. So no, I've got to be doing this. My identity's wrapped up in it. My self-worth's wrapped up in it. So I'm really interested what pivots people bring to this event in 2 weeks' time, Bridget.
Well, to give everyone a little sneak peek, I'm in the middle of my pivot, like as I sit here. And it's so funny that, this topic, this came about last year, like maybe a year ago, that this was starting to come into fruition. And right now I'm currently like still a little bit in the midst of my own business professional pivot. So I'm coming to speak in a very vulnerable space. And I think that that's important because although, we see these people, they're the speakers, they have it all together. Like, no, we're just humans and we're coming to bring forth the concept so that you can implement this into your own life. So you can hear the story and go, oh, me too. I get it.
That's so lovely. And I'm going to be really vulnerable as well. I don't fully know what I'm going to talk about yet. because I trust there's a range of directions I could go.
Yeah.
And this is also the beauty of Cornell. Little story. I'm not even sure if you know this, Bridget. In the New Jersey event last July, I sent some slides last minute to Cornell, like last minute. I was like, oh, shit. I need to get my slides. Melissa was running around, his wife in the background, going like, Garry wants his slide. And Cornell went, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't need his slides. Leave him. And there's that trust by him that I found in me in that moment.
Yeah.
That was a pivot for me, even last July, was to step away from the safety net of the slides or the thing or the person and truly stand on that spot in that moment, trusting yourself. That was like, shit.
Wow.
Like these opportunities, like that came up there, like you say, that came up for me as a speaker,
right.
not as a sage, not as the one that knows everything. Yeah. That was a massive lesson for me in amongst everything else that happened that day.
Of course.
It's just so generative, right? And I think this is the word I want to get people thinking and feeling about. It's a very generative experience where, what Bridget might share, and then maybe someone that's joining us then shares in reply. Then I pick up on that. It's not a relay. It's this almost spiral of generative energy where people are sharing stories, experiences, like wonder, dreams, fears, and all of that melting pot is almost this coalesced energy source that you can draw on, throughout the day, but in safety, no judgment. There's not many places like that exist for me, Bridget.
No, but this is the future of the world. It's a circle instead of the tiers. And many people are so comfortable with the tiers and they've been living in that way. There's someone above you that dictates life, whether it's government, religion, people, an organization. We're moving into a circle where, no, actually, we all have something of value to provide a space, to create a bigger circle. And, for some, that might be a little bit of an uncomfortable concept because it is new. But I love the way that you actually just described through this, generative coalescence of space, people, ideas, time. Like that really is Positivity Summit.
CornellThomas.com. Go there, buy a ticket. But I do want to do one other thing because we've got this beautiful guest, Bridget, with you, who's one of my newest friends. I do want to share your website for a moment. Because I think it's absolutely beautiful. Like, it's a real work of art. If I can get StreamYard to actually open the screen. Because at the moment, it doesn't want to. And it's not because it's not a lovely website. Honestly, everyone, it really is. All right, here we go. Right. I would love just tell us a little bit more about visibility on purpose. Like what is that? I know you're in a bit of a pivot yourself at the moment, but what's the vision? What's the, where from within you, and where are you trying to take all of this? Give us a bit of an overview as to visibility on purpose in this moment.
Well, this is a great thing because I just finished redoing the website like yesterday. So glad that you're showing it now. So this is the birth of my pivot. Like, this truly is one of the pieces of my own puzzle that has come to fruition, and it's very clear. So I have a business partner named Lydia, and she is a publicist. I'm a past publisher, and I work with business owners and founders to extract their messy ideas and thoughts into a viable business idea, something that makes sense. I work with a message. Visibility on Purpose is a media training school. So we help business owners learn how they can actually introduce themselves to the media. And, to talk about this whole idea of hierarchy, most businesses would hire a publicist to do this, which you absolutely can. Lydia is a publicist. But we are giving the information back to the people at the ground level so they can learn how to represent their business, their brand, talk about their work, and bring their good message to more people. Because I know that I always say, you didn't start your business because you're selling McDonald's hamburgers. Like, you're doing good work on the planet, and more people need to hear about it. So that's visibility on purpose. And I'm very proud of this company.
That is so cool. And you can see where it's been published yourself, which is wonderful. And do you know something? I literally, when I was looking at the website the other day, I was like, hang on, I might need to actually have a word with Bridget. I think there might be a need for me at some point in the future. So hold that thought.
Yeah.
So as we go to wrap up, very conscious of time, going into the weekend, what if you were going to, right, I'm just imagining, right, Bridget, we're together in 2 weeks, had a fantastic experience, which we know we'll have. What are the 3 words that you're taking into? Yeah. So imagine you're coming over, you're flying over. Is it first time in the UK or not?
I've been to Northern Ireland, but does that count?
It does count as the UK, but you've not been to the mainland UK. Okay, cool. You've not been to England. You've not
Correct.
Been to England.
Correct.
So you go to this beautiful place, this beautiful location. What are 3 words that are sitting with you in terms of your sort of energy state before you go into that location? I'm just wondering what's emerging for you in this moment.
Fun. I just feel like this sparkly fun energy around it. Number 2 is people. I love humans and I love hugs. So cannot wait to just connect with people and give a nice big hug and look into people's eyes. And 3, hope. I hope that anyone who comes to this event can just remember that we're all humans just on this planet doing our best. And the stories that we're going to share might be vulnerable, probably be inspiring. And I think the deepest thread through it all is, if you're in a pivot, a change, a transition of any sort, and many of us experience this throughout our life, there is always hope. There's always, light at the end of the tunnel.
So cool. So thank you for sharing that. I think for me, there's something about learning.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about community.
And
there's something about potentiality. Like that, there's just an expansiveness.
Yeah.
So there you go, people. Follow Bridget. She's flipping awesome. Go to cornellthomas.com, buy a ticket, and hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Garry. You're the best. Can't wait to see everyone.
It's so exciting. See you soon. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.